Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new in this channel, my name is Donna. I am a mom of two little kids, a 4-year-old little boy and a 7-year-old little girl, and a wife to my husband Rex. I am a motherhood and lifestyle YouTuber, and also I am a phlebotomist. If you guys don't know what a phlebotomist is a person who does the blood draw at your clinic and your hospital laboratory. There you go. That's what a phlebotomist is. Anyways, it has been a really long time since the last time I posted about phlebotomy, and the reason that this channel got this much subscribers is because of my phlebotomy videos. A lot of you guys like that, but ever since that first phlebotomy video that I did, I'm gonna post it up here. It is the day in the life of a phlebotomist video, nighttime edition. It was about 2 years ago when I was doing night shift. My shift at that time was from 10 p.m. to 7:30. It was a 10-hour shift, and so you guys, that is the reason why I was able to vlog then, and that is the video that kind of helped this channel grow and grow until it reached the number of subscribers and viewers that I have now. And then I also have another phlebotomy video that I'm gonna post right here. It is about the order of draw. If you guys want to watch that channel, please click the link down below, or I will post it somewhere so it's easy for you guys to have access to it. But that one got a bit of views too, and it looks like you guys really love the phlebotomy videos, and I really truly deeply apologize that I haven't been making any phlebotomy videos because I switched jobs. I started working from night shift to early morning draws, which means I start at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know, at 4 o'clock it was just from one patient to another to another to another. It was so busy that I didn't really have a chance to put the phone up because, you know, okay my friend, so I got cut off. But what I was saying is that on the morning shifts at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's a very fast-paced shift. It is one wherein you go into work and your work is already ready for you to get picked up. You know, you clock in, you put your lab coats on and stuff like that, and there's a pile of labels for you to draw already. Everything's ready for you. All you gotta do is get your cart or your basket or your tray ready, and you have to go up to the floor to draw that. You have an hour and a half or 2 hours max to draw all the patients that you have in your list. Okay, when I was doing morning list, we at the very busy hospital that I used to work at, we would have from 28 to like 32, 20 to 30 patients to draw, and you should only be spending 5 minutes or less on one patient. That's crazy, right? But I mean, I have been a phlebotomist for a long time now. I cannot believe that I have been a phlebotomist for 12 years now, guys, going on 13 years, right? But enough of the babbling. I'm gonna tell you guys, when I asked you guys what kind of phlebotomy video you guys wanted me to post, some of you guys wanted me to post or talk about what do you call this? Talk about the externship and a day in the life. First of all, for the day in the life of a phlebotomist at work, it is super duper hard to do that for me now, you guys, because I went down from full-time phlebotomist to only working part-time, very part-time, which is 4 hours a week. 4 4 hours a week. That is not that much. There's not much action going on in 4 hours, to be honest with you guys. On top of that, I don't work at the hospital anymore. I work at an outpatient site. I do have vlogs of me working at the outpatient site. So if you guys wanted to watch that, I will post it over here. Okay? And now, because of what's going on in the world, I am back to working the 4-hour shift. Instead of the outpatient, I'm working in the hospital because you know, things are happening in the world right now, and not too many people wanted to go to their healthcare clinics or get their blood drawn if they don't need to. So our schedule is not being filled up right now, which is understandable. So instead of me not working, I decided that I'm just gonna go ahead and work at the hospital instead of getting the days off. There you go. And that's why I cannot film a day in the life of a phlebotomist video anymore, because of that. I only work 4 hours, and those 4 hours that I work, no action's happening. I don't know, we'll see. But also, people wanted to know how my externship went when I first graduated, or when I graduated phlebotomist, which was 12 years ago. So for you guys who don't know, I went to Pima Medical Institute for my phlebotomy program. It was a 3-month program, 2 months in school, and 1 month at my externship. I was very lucky enough to get an externship at the hospital. I don't think I should be mentioning that hospital because of privacy things, you know. So I got an externship at the hospital for a month, and it was a very interesting experience, to be honest with you, because you meet so at school you practice poking and drawing blood from each other, from your classmates, right? And so, hold on a second. Sorry. And so when you are an extern, you just you don't practice on your coworkers. You do the actual thing, guys. So when I was an extern, I worked at the hospital. You go in there, you tell them you're the extern. They should know about you already. They should know you're coming already, because then the school and the hospital already did all your paperwork and stuff, and so they should be expecting you. Number one thing, you guys need to be on time. If not on time, earlier than your appointment or your shift, okay? My shift was the early morning draw, so I freaking dove into the hardest shift of all, which is the morning draw, okay? So I went into the hospital, they introduced me to everybody, and then they assigned a phlebotomist to me. So what happens is, since you're gonna be working with them for a month, I needed 160 hours of training. So it's like a full-time shift. Like, I'm not getting paid. I am just there for the experience. So, you get in there, you get introduced to your coworkers, you get introduced to your trainer. So the trainer will tell you, here's the break room, here is where you get your lab coat, and it depends where you are. They would already have the tray, the cart, or the little basket ready for you, or they will empty a basket that is not being used by anybody, and they will tell you where to get all of the stuff, or they will help you know what supplies you need. And then after that, they will tell you, okay, here is the list of people you need to draw, okay? So let's pretend you have about 5 people. Okay, so this is the first floor, and the second floor, this is whatever floor. Okay, so you and your trainer will go onto the floor and they will do the first draw. They will show you how they do their job. And so you take notes and you observe and you do exactly, or when you're a student, you don't have a process yet. You kind of like, as you work as a phlebotomist, you will know your own system. Okay. Hey guys, so obviously I'm editing this video now. It has been a couple days since I last filmed that video, and obviously I was talking way too much that I didn't know what I was talking about. I was just blabbing and didn't know which direction I was going to. So in this next clip right here, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about how I draw patients in the hospital. That they are called inpatients, and that is how you do your morning shift on your externship too. So it kind of all connected, so I hope you guys like it. Okay guys, so in this video I'm gonna show you, or I'm gonna let you guys know, or I'm going to just tell you how I draw inpatients. Okay, inpatients are patients that are admitted into the hospital, and you usually do inpatient blood draws when you work in the hospital. You do outpatient blood draws when you work at a clinic, because outpatients are patients that are not admitted to the hospital. They are patients that go into the clinic or the draw site to get their blood drawn. Get it? Okay, so when you draw patients in the hospital, you have to know that these patients are sick. They are in the hospital because they are not feeling well, okay? And you are there to help them figure out what is going on with their body. And blood draw, the blood can tell you all kinds of different things regarding to what's wrong with them or what's wrong with you. Blood can tell you so many different things, okay? So for example, let me set a scenario here. You are in the lab working, your tray or your cart is fully stocked. You have your lab coat on, you got your glove. No, you don't have your gloves on, because you shouldn't be wearing gloves when you're not dealing with a patient. You can wear gloves if you're dealing with some samples, but not when you're just on the computer looking up stuff. It depends. It depends on you guys. Nowadays, because of this crazy pandemic virus thing going on in the world, you should always be wearing gloves when you are working in the hospital or when you are dealing with specimens, okay? Regardless of it's a clean area, dirty area, wear gloves or sanitize your hands or wash your hands all the freaking time, okay? Because you just do not know. You don't know, guys. Especially in the lab. The lab has the most germs, I think. I personally think that the lab has the most dangerous cooties in there, because that's where everybody send their urine sample, their stool sample, their sputum sample, their blood sample, their what do you call that, the cerebrospinal fluid sample, their, oh my god, one time I saw a freaking fetus. I know it's not I saw that little tub that my coworker was dealing with, and she showed me right when it was the beginning of my shift, and she's like, Donna, come here, look at this. And I looked at it, man, it was the worst way to begin your shift, to be honest with you. It was like, yeah, it was very interesting, but I didn't want to see it. Let's go back to the subject. Where was I? Yeah, the lab is nasty, so do not Nowadays, especially now with the COVID-19 thing going on, the protocol is you get into work, you get screened, they're gonna ask you if you have all these symptoms. It was at first it was, do you have a fever, cough, runny nose, sore throat, blah blah blah. You say no, and then the list of symptoms just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. And yeah, as long as you say no to all of those symptoms, you're good, you're free to go. They're gonna give you a sticker that says I have been screened in the day of the week, and then they give you a mask. Okay, so make sure when you get into the lab, you know, put your stuff in the locker, and then you grab a brand new crispy white lab coat, and then you put your gloves on, and then you put, well, you know, okay, you grab a lab coat, you put your gloves on, you grab a lab coat, you put your mask on, and then I personally put gloves on, because I don't know who didn't wash their hands and started, you know, talking on the phone and clickety clacketing the keyboard or whatever. Okay, so when I'm in the lab, I just always wear a pair of gloves, because I don't want to touch anything there. So I'm in the lab, my stuff's ready, I am ready, I'm wearing a mask, I'm wearing my gloves, everything, I'm good. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, Donna, here's a blood draw. They give you a file. They give you a pile. And then let's pretend that this is the label, okay? Pretend label. And we are going to draw Mrs. Lavender Myers on the 10th floor, okay? And Mr. Blue Yellow on the 3rd floor, okay? Okay, so we are gonna draw, we have 2 draws. They're gonna say, here you go, Donna, there's 2 draws. So you take the draws, okay? These are our pretend labels. You're gonna see, okay, I have a draw on the 10th floor and I have 1 draw on the 3rd floor. You have to check which one's routine. Routines are the tests that are not urgent, I think, but I'm gonna research that because I might be wrong. Okay, routine, no rush. Basically, routines are no rush. Stats are stat right away. Okay, need to be drawn 20 minutes after it's been ordered. Okay, so if we have a label that says RT, and we have a label that says ASAP, which one are we gonna go to first? I have a little route that I do. I start from the bottom and then I work my way out. No, it doesn't work like that. If your stat is on the very top floor, you gotta go to the very top floor first and do that stat on the top floor, instead of starting from the lowest floor and working your way up. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so in this case, we have an ASAP on the 10th floor and a routine on the 3rd floor. So we have an ASAP on the 10th floor and a routine on the 3rd floor. Which one you gonna do first? Which? How? I'm gonna give you some time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are going to go do Mrs. Lavender Myers on the 10th floor first. Okay, and then we're gonna do, since you only have 2 draws, we're gonna do Mr. Blue Yellow on the 3rd floor later. So we're gonna go draw the patients now. We're gonna grab our trays, and then we're gonna go on the elevator and hit the 10th floor, okay? Alright, so you get to the floor, you find the room, the door is closed, okay? The door is closed. This is the door, okay? So what you gonna do? You're gonna say, oh, before you knock on the door, you guys, before you knock on the door, this is regardless of if it's in the morning, afternoon, nighttime, before you knock on the door, you gotta examine the door and see if the patient is in isolation. Isolation, there's a contact isolation, enteric, droplet, and now there's the COVID one, and then there's the airborne respirator one, okay? So you gotta check. There should be a little sign by their door. It's color coded too, okay? If there's no sign at all, patient is not in isolation, okay? All right, so no sign. You knock on the door, and then you open it gently, okay? And then you're gonna say, hi, I'm from the lab. I'm here to draw some blood from you. Is that okay? And they're gonna say, okay, that's fine. Or they're gonna say, again, I was just drawn not too long ago. Or are they gonna say, no, get out? You get all kinds of reaction, guys. Now, when they say, okay, come on in, well, you lucky, because they're nice, okay? So let's pretend that they're nice. So you're gonna say, hi, this is what I do, okay? All right, so I knock on the door. Hi, this is the lab. My name is Donna. I'm here to draw some blood from you. Is that okay? And then they're gonna say, okay, come on in. Okay, so they're not in isolation. So I take all of my stuff inside the room, and I'll be like, can I take a look at your name tag or your bracelet? So they're gonna show you the bracelet right here, and then you're gonna say, okay, Mrs. Lavender Myers, when's your date of birth? So they're gonna tell you, like if they can talk or if they don't have any attitude, they're gonna tell you her birthday is 2/1/22. Let's pretend she's born in 1922. Okay, so patient identifier, you gotta know who you're drawing, girl, because if you have Mrs. Lavender Myers and you drew Mr. Lavender Bing Bong, then that's the wrong patient. So you're gonna match the labels and the bracelet, okay? So you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna be drawing. You're gonna tell them, you're gonna acknowledge them. You're gonna identify yourself. Introduce yourself, okay? And you're gonna tell them the details of what you're gonna do. You're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna draw your blood. It's not gonna take that long. And you're gonna tell them what you're doing, okay? So, oh my goodness, there's so many details to it. Like, I wasn't even really thinking about this. So you go into the room, you check their ID band, and then you got your stuff ready. So you're gonna draw Protime, a BMP, CBC, and a Vancotroph, okay? So vancomycin is a medication level, and most medication level, they go on red top tubes. So based on our order of draws, this goes first, okay? So Vancotroph, PT, we need blue, and then a BMP, and then a CBC, okay? So Vanco, PTT, BMP, CBC. Chemistry, coagulation, chemistry, and hematology. There you go. So, you guys, I'm getting closer and closer to you. If you're a tall person, okay, and the bed is too low for you, you are very welcome to raise the bed. But before you raise the bed, you gotta make sure that there is nothing around the bed, okay? Sometimes, let's pretend this is the bed. Sometimes their table's over the bed, okay? You are not gonna raise the bed while the table's on them. Why? Because you're gonna crush them, okay? So what do? You move the table out of the way, okay? That's one thing you gotta think of. Second thing, before raising the bed, you gotta make sure that their IVs or any like wires that are connected to them is not getting stretched out. You know what I mean? Because the last thing you want is for, this is their IV. It's right there. And then as you're like raising their bed, you're stretching out their IVs. Oh no, what's going to happen? You are going to end up like taking their IVs out because you raised the bed and you weren't watching. And then blood's going to be all over the place and all the worst things can happen. So you got to watch out for wires, guys. You cannot be raising the bed when there's things in the way. Okay? Alright. So once you raise the bed, when you're comfortable with the level of the bed, you sometimes, or most beds, they have railings, okay, because you know you don't want patients to fall. So most of the time those railings are up, but you have to put them down because it's just easier access for us phlebotomists to get access to the arm, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's easier to access the arm if you put the handrails, or if you put the bed rails down. That's what I mean. But before you put the bed rails down, you also gotta, check for cables, because like I said, you don't wanna stretch those out and accidentally yank their IVs. You be in big trouble, girl. But yeah, so you keep an eye on that. And then, so you can access your patient's arm now, okay? Be gentle. Be gentle with them. Do not be rough. People are sick in the hospital. You're supposed to be gentle, okay? You don't be like, give me your arm, let me draw your blood, and then freaking tighten that tourniquet. No. You gotta be gentle with the freaking arm, okay? Because they're in pain, okay? So, especially when they're older people, guys, their skin are so fragile. Sometimes what I do is I do not tie the tourniquet on their skin, on top of their skin. I tie it on top of their sleeve just so it doesn't pinch them, okay? So you tell them, okay, my dear, this is gonna be a little tight, you know, so you tighten it like, you don't tighten it right away, you tighten it gently. And they're gonna react, especially if they're old people. They're gonna react. They're gonna be like, but just be gentle. And then if they're in pain, then just say, I'm so sorry, it has to be a little tight, because then it helps the veins pop up. It does. It helps the veins pop up, seriously. So you do that, you found the vein, you're successful, you're good, and you're done drawing the blood, okay? And you drew the blood in order, okay? You're done. So now you label the tubes in front of the patient. You label the tubes in front of them, make sure it's the correct tube, okay? People, or some labs have their preferred way of putting the labels on. Sometimes they want, you know, to read the label this way. Sometimes they want to read the label that way, if you know what I mean. It all depends on their machines, because there's barcodes, okay? So label the tube according to your company's policy. And where I work now, you have to put the time of draw and your initials, and then you're done. And then you put it in a specimen bag, okay? Before you take your gloves off, you gotta make sure that you throw your sharps, your needles, in the sharps container. Do not leave any needles on the bed. No, that's a no-no. Do not leave needles on the bed. You are gonna be in deep, deep trouble, okay? And if you raise the bed, lower it back down, okay? Lower it back down, please. Especially if you put the bed rails down. Guys, I have heard and seen so many patients fall off the bed because people forget to raise and put their bed rails down. I mean up. Don't forget to put the bed rails up. It's a habit for me. It's a habit for me to put the bed rail up. And then when sometimes the patient will be like, no, don't put it up. I need to be able to go pee right away if I need to go pee. So I don't have to wait for the nurses to come get me. So, I mean, then when they ask me to not put the bed rails up, then I don't put the bed rails up. But I always try to make it a habit to put the bed rails up. You guys should too, because it's safety. It's the safest thing for the patients, especially the patients that that are old and they have dementia and they want to get out of bed and they're not supposed to get out of bed. Just put the bed rails up. And basically the whole point of this is you have to leave the room the way it was when you went into the room. If the patient's table was on top of him and when you got there, put it back. Put it back to the way it was when you went in there. Because that's how they want it, okay? So you lower the bed, you put the bed rails back up, you threw away all your garbage, and you threw away your sharps in the sharp container. And then you say, all right, my dear, we are all done. Thank you. And if they're sleeping, you can just say you can go back to sleep now. And oh, one more thing that I forgot, especially during the morning draws, this one, do not forget about this one. When you're turning the lights on, you have to let them know, guys. You have to let them know, because hospital lights, especially when you're sleeping, and you get woken up and they're like, I'm here to draw some blood from you, and you're like, holy shit, again. And then they turn the bright lights on. Not good. I personally hate it when my husband does that. When I'm like sleeping and then he turns the freaking lights on, I'm like, holy cow, dude, seriously? I'm still sleeping. It's super bright. Turn that stuff off, you know? So when you are drawing blood from a patient in the morning or when it's still dark, let them know. Let them know you're turning the lights on, okay? You gradually. So there's like at my work now, there is a light switch. There's a light switch, right? And then there's a slider. So you can control a dimmer. You can control the amount of brightness in the room. Yeah, that one you do that before, like as soon as you go in, okay? And then when you leave the room, you just gotta make sure everything is the way it was when you got there, and you make sure you say thank you, and then you grab your stuff, throw away all your stuff, make sure you get the samples, okay? Don't forget the tourniquet on the arm, okay? I'm not mad, just don't forget the tourniquet. And say thank you, and you're all done, and then you're good to go. That's it. Oh my god, I have been talking for 25 minutes. And then once you're done, you can either tube up or tube down the samples. Make sure you label them, okay? And then on to the next patient. Okay, let me rephrase that, okay? When you're drawing blood from an inpatient, you knock on the door. Hi there, my name is Donna. I'm here to draw some blood from you. Is that okay? They're gonna say, okay, that's fine. Okay, and you figure out what you need to draw. You grab your stuff, and then you do whatever you need to do to be able to access the arm. And then when you're all done, you put everything back to how it was, label your tubes, say thank you, and then turn the lights off. And then go to the next patient, okay? Alright guys, well, I have been talking for a long time. Right now, 27 minutes. But if you guys have any other questions, please bug me and let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. Yeah, if you want more videos, comment down below. I want to know what you guys want to know. I know this video is all over the place, but I am just I'm trying my best to give you a good video, I guess. I'm gonna be editing this, guys, so it kind of makes sense, okay? So if you guys like videos like this, please like and subscribe to this channel. I will try my best to upload more phlebotomy videos for you, my friends, and I hope you guys stay safe, wash your hands nowadays, and you guys have a good day. Bye.
I feel it coming, I feel it taking control. It's the hurt I imagine, from us to nothing. There's something missing you stole, and it's a little tragic. I know I'm better off living without your love, but time and again my thoughts go back to when we were crazy kids with a lot of feelings. I'm too proud to beg and too dumb for stealing. When I rode with you it was all downhill, and losing control was a part of that thrill. A part of me still wants you. A part of me still wants you. I've got my own place, an extra toothbrush as well, for someone you don't know of. But these are long days, and even though you can tell, there's something I can't get over. I know I'm better off living without your love, but time and again my thoughts go back to when we were crazy kids with a lot of feelings. Too proud to beg and too dumb for stealing. When I rode with you it was all downhill, and losing control was a part of that thrill. A part of me still wants you. 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 We were crazy kids with a lot of feelings. Too proud to beg and too dumb for stealing. But when I rode with you it was all downhill, and losing control was a part of that thrill. A part of me still wants you. A part of me still wants you. A part of me still wants you. A part of me still wants you.